Hi, welcome back to M is for Meeple. My name's Mitch.
And I'm Morgan, and in today's video, we're going to be answering some questions from a tabletop tag. Okay, so we were tagged as fellow content creators to answer these questions from Jenna Rose over at the Board Game Garden. Definitely check out her channel. She's amazing. She also has another channel called Jenna Rose, which is equally as amazing.
Yeah, but she's starting an exclusive board game content channel.
Called the Board Game Garden. So definitely check her out. So the way this video is going to go is we're going to answer the same questions that Jenna answered in her video. And then at the end, we're going to do another tag where we're going to tag other content creators to answer these questions too. If you would like to answer these questions yourself, definitely leave them down in the comments below. We'd love to hear your answers to these questions as well. With that being said, let's get started.
Sure.
So the first question is a name, age, and location. So Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch. I'm 30, and we live in Ohio near Cleveland.
Yep. And my name is Morgan. I will be 29 in July. And like Mitch said, we live in Northeast Ohio in the United States.
All right, next question. What's your favorite childhood board game?
My favorite childhood board game would probably be the Game of Life. My parents used to do in the summer, or not in the summer, but we used to have board game days where
your mom would just yell at her,
we weren't allowed to watch
now.
TV. We were having a board game night with the family. And I have 3 siblings, so there were 6 people in my household. So the Game of Life was always a fun one that we could all play together. So Game of Life.
Mine was Husker Du. And now,
what is Husker Du? I've never heard of that.
I know,
game.
I told you not to look it up so I could talk about it. But, I mean, I could make a whole video just on this question alone of, like, my board game awakening.
Started with Husker Du.
I was 6 or 7 years old, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right. It's H-U with one of those things above it, S-K-E-R, and then D-U with one of those little things above it. So Husker Du is it's a child's game, but it's a memory game to where it's a double-layered board, and on the bottom section of it, you can spin the board to have like different versions of the board. Is it like
a rondel?
And it's not a rondel because you have all these little plastic tokens that kind of look like the tokens from, I think, Sorry.
Okay.
How they're just like pawns. So it's like there's maybe 30 to 35 pawns that are covering these little circle spaces, and as you turn it, there's different like animals that go into the circle spaces.
Okay.
So it's like those pawns go over top to conceal what's underneath them, and it's just a matching game to where you pick up one, and if you reveal the fish, you got to pick up another one that revealed the fish, and then you get to keep those, and whoever has the most pawns at the end of the game wins. I got so good at the game, no one wanted to play with me because as soon as because when you make a match, you get to go again. So it's like I just had all 4.
So you're just playing by yourself, essentially.
Well, yeah. 'Cause I would let like my mom or brothers go first, and then as soon as they made one mistake, I would clear the board, and then they would stop playing with me. So yeah, Husker Du. That was my favorite childhood board game.
Never heard of it. All right. When did you really get into the board game hobby?
Oh, am I gonna go first?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, when did I really get into the board game hobby? I would say for me it was like late high school, early college, because that's when I like started working and I had my own job to, spend money on whatever I want. It would have to be like 2011, 2012, because that's when I started getting a little bit heavier games with like Battlestar Galactica and Zombies for me, to where it's like I just left them at my friend's house because it's like every weekend we were over there playing video games, playing board games. So yeah, oh man, that's 10 years ago now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 10 years ago. What about you?
I don't know. I feel like we had the same friend group. So yeah, late high school, early college, I would like play games like with our friends, like the games that you purchased and stuff. But I feel like together as a couple, when we first really started getting into the board games, is probably 2017. We started going to like our local gaming store, Recess, and we would specifically go there just to buy games to play with our friends, and it was almost like every weekend we were playing board games. So yeah, I feel like 2017 is when we really, we had a dedicated board game bag and they were piling up. Then it turned into 2 board game bags.
Well, yeah,
and
we had no place to store them, so these bags are just sitting in the back of my car.
Yeah, they just kind of snowballed from there. So yeah, I would say 2017, but we were playing games before then, but heavily.
Yeah, that really was when we started looking for like expansions.
Yeah.
For board games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2017, I think.
All right, next question. First game you purchased. Do you still own that game? You want to take this one first?
Sure. So, I feel like the first game that I purchased was probably like an expansion for Munchkin. Because like I said, around that time we were just kind of, when we started, you owned Munchkin first, and then I had, because we had the same friend group, would buy expansions for it. But I feel like the first actual board game was probably 5 Minute Dungeon, which also came out in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
It was around the same kind of like theme of Munchkin. It's like a dungeon crawl. So I think that's why I got it, because, our friend group played Munchkin a lot. So, 5 Minute Dungeon for me.
The first one I got was Zombies, because that one, my brother had talked about it, and just his description alone sold me on the game, to where it's like right after I was out of high school and I had money of my own to spend. That was the first game that I bought. And yeah, still own it. I mean, it's on the bottom shelf now, but I mean, that's one like I would like to revisit, because I don't think we've played it since 2017 or 2018 when we started getting more and more games.
I think you just have it for nostalgic reasons.
It's still a good game.
We still have 5 Minute Dungeon. It's a very beat up box because we played that game so much.
I just don't like the shape of the box.
It is such an awkward shape box. It's like an X. Like, you can't.
I think they meant to do it as like an hourglass shape. So that way, like, it kind of like, 5 minutes, but...
It could have easily been a normal box.
Yeah.
We do have the expansion to that one also. I think it's just a very, like, intro game. It plays very fast, obviously 5 minutes. But I think we've kind of played that one to death. So it is still on our shelf, but I think we could probably gift that to somebody who would
gift
it
or call it or something.
Yeah.
I don't see us getting it to the table again. I do see us getting Zombies to the table again.
It's a good one to play with, like, kids, I think, because it's so quick.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Any hobbies other than board games?
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons. You got the shirt. Dungeon Master. We actually just wrapped up a campaign that I was the DM for.
That we were playing for 2 years?
The first part of it took the better half of a year, and then the second part took
a year.
Took just about a year. So yeah, it was. And then we have a third part, but I need a break from all the planning and...
Yeah, so we're playing in our friend's campaign right now, and then we're also playing in a Star Wars campaign.
A Star Wars, the SW5E version. We're also into video games and
we love hiking. We like hiking, traveling. We haven't done much traveling the last couple years because of COVID.
We got some trips coming up though.
We do.
We have Origins and Outer Banks.
Yeah.
And where are we going with your family in September?
Colorado.
I think Colorado. Yeah.
So I'm excited to start traveling.
Excited
again.
and nervous, but we haven't been anywhere in 2 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very exciting.
Yeah. All right, I got the next one.
Okay.
Your breakthrough game.
For me, it was probably Munchkin.
Munchkin.
That was the game where, after we had played it, I was like, okay, we need to get more expansions, and every time we would go to the store, and I would constantly be looking for Munchkin expansions. And then it got to the point where we had way too many expansions for Munchkin, and it was almost impossible to play the game with all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Munchkin for sure.
Okay. I feel like this kind of goes in, like, my favorite childhood game, because I can make a huge, like, just rant, a 45-minute rant about, like, all my board game memories.
Yeah.
Of leading up to, like, how I got to this point. But my breakthrough game would probably be Battlestar Galactica, because I watched the show, and none of my friends watched the show when we played it, so no one knew what the heck was going on. And you don't need to know what exactly a Cylon is, except for that they're just a traitor in, like, a human disguise.
Like a spy.
Like a spy. Yeah. So it's like, when we played that game, and the accusations that everyone throws out at the table to where you spend more time arguing about what people are doing than actually playing the game. To where it's like, why would you go there and do this when clearly we need help saving like these ships or whatnot? To where when that was the first game, like, oh man, I really need to get an expansion for this. But at that time, I couldn't find Pegasus, the expansion of that game. So, I mean, I'm still looking for it, but now it's really hard to find.
Well, if you can find it, it's packaged with Battlestar Galactica, and because it's out of print, it's so hard to just find the expansions by themselves.
That's one game I wish I would have sleeved, but I mean, I was so young, I didn't even think about it, because like the cards are kind of grimy.
Well, you didn't think it was ever going to go out of print either.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, because a lot of people's, like, you know, breakthrough or gateway games are like Catan and stuff like that.
I had such a jump.
Munchkin, I feel like, is a pretty common one because it's pretty easy to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's so funny that yours is Battlestar Galactica, like a game that's like very heavy.
Yeah, I think it's like a 3.6 on BGG.
Yeah.
So it's up there.
I remember the first time you guys taught me Battlestar Galactica because I wasn't like heavily into board games at the time, and I was like, it was very confusing, but we did play that one a lot.
We did.
Yeah.
We got a lot of mileage out of it.
Yeah. All right, so next question. A theme that always draws you in.
Space for sure. I mean, Battlestar Galactica drew me in. Yeah, I backed a bunch of space games that are coming out soon, like Voidfall. Oh man, Galaxy Truckers. Like, I'm not crazy about like the mechanics of Galaxy Truckers. I think it's really fun, but like the theme of it keeps drawing. Gravwell, yeah. Gravwell's. I mean, the mechanics of Gravwell are pretty cool, but it's space. I love it.
So a theme that always draws me in is nature. We love traveling and hiking and being outside, so anytime I see a theme with nature, I immediately gotta get it, even if I have no idea how the game plays. It's gotta be in our collection. I have a whole shelf dedicated to my nature-themed games. My second favorite theme is probably fantasy, so anything that has to do with, like, you know, your classic D&D, races, elves, orcs, high fantasy setting, stuff like that.
Mystic Vale, you're a bunch of druids.
Yeah, anything like that, I'm like, oh man, that looks really cool. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Where are we at? Number 8?
Yeah.
Favorite mechanism.
Favorite mechanisms?
It could be plural, this one. You can have more than one.
Some of my favorite mechanisms are deck building. I love deck building games. I also enjoy tableau builders. I love having like a, set of cards in front of me that I'm trying to build off of. And set collection. I love those quick set collection games. They're really easy to teach anybody, and I really enjoy those ones.
Yeah.
What about you?
Deck building, definitely. And that's something I didn't discover until we started doing list videos. And like 6 of my games on the list were deck
bag builders. Yeah.
So I like right now Shards of Infinity is like I'm having a blast with that because it's so quick to play and it's like such a fast deck builder. But then Social Deduction. So as like Battlestar Galactica, that was one of my breakthrough games and one of my early games that I had, and I just love the idea of like lying to your friends at the same time. I feel like
you're very good at it.
I feel like I've gotten better throughout the years, but it's like anytime we play Resistance, everyone's just like, Mitch is a traitor. We go into the game with this preconceived notion that I'm not to be trusted, so it's like I'm playing with a handicap now after all these years. So yeah, those are the 2 that I really like.
Alright, a mechanism you don't like or that you are not good at?
Well, I enjoy tableau builders. I'm not good at them. I feel like you beat me 9 times out of 10 anytime we have a tableau builder.
Yeah, I'm very good at tableau builders.
Yeah, I'm not good at it, but I like laying it out and watching like what is it, Santa Monica?
Yeah,
I like seeing that. That's very visually appealing to see all that.
Like making something.
Yeah, but you have your people laid out so much better than I do. I'm like, I don't know how you did it, but I have a pretty boardwalk.
Yeah.
So
a mechanism that I don't like or I'm not good at. Mechanism I don't like is area control. Basically, like dudes on a map game.
Well, isn't dudes on a map and area control? Like, with dudes on a map, you always have area control, but area control isn't always dudes on a map.
Okay, so maybe I don't like dudes on a map.
Yeah.
Because there are games that do have a little bit of area control in them, like Rome, I do like. Like, I don't mind that. I think it's just like the battling dudes on a map, like Risk.
The combat?
Yeah, I don't like it at all. And then a mechanism that I'm not good at, social deduction. I love social deduction. I am terrible at it. Mitch and I cannot look at each other when we're playing social deduction.
I'm not allowed to look at you.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we're not allowed to sit across from each other because Mitch will immediately look at me and be like, Morgan, are you lying? Are you the spy? And he'll know right away because I'm terrible at it. Anytime we play those games, I'm like, please don't be the spy. Please don't be the spy.
I did that, I think, 3 or 4 times in a row to where I looked at you and I'm like, guys, we can't trust Morgan. And then the next time they believed me because my accuracy was 100%, to where I just lied about it. I'm like, Morgan's a spy again.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I love figuring out who the spy is. I'm terrible at being the traitor, though.
Yeah.
Like, I can't.
I like how we flip on mechanisms that we like and aren't good at. Like, you like Tableau and I'm bad at it, and I like social deduction, but you're bad at it.
Yeah. I mean, I still enjoy it. I still like trying to figure out who the traitor is. I just am bad at being the traitor. I'm just not a good liar.
That's not a bad thing.
You're fantastic at being the traitor. You're so believable.
Well, when you've been playing Battlestar Galactica for like 10 years.
Yeah. You're very witty.
Yeah.
Very.
I don't know. My brothers are pretty good. They threw me for a loop when we played Unfathomable.
Yeah. I know, I believe Ben. I'm so gullible. I always believe everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the spy, and then I get backstabbed.
The next question is, newest games in your collection, and have you played them?
So the last game that, we're on a no-buy month, so I'm trying to think of our last haul. I got Taverns of Tiefenthal and Cantaloupe. I have not played either of them yet. Cantaloupe is kind of like a point-and-click adventure, like your classic point-and-click adventure games from like the 90s in a board game, but it's like adult.
Can you play it solo?
I feel you probably should be able to, yeah. So really excited to play that one. And then Taverns of Tiefenthal is like a deck builder where you are like building a tavern. I've been looking for that one for a while, but I haven't played that yet. Definitely want to have Ben and Dave over to play Taverns of Tiefenthal, because I think they would like that one.
Maybe we have them over, with this extended weekend.
Yeah, tomorrow or Monday. Yeah, that sounds good. What about you?
The newest one that I got was Reload, and I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to take it down to Atlanta and play with Phil and Dave. And
it's having like a board game weekend next weekend.
Yeah, so I mean that should be interesting. And it's kind of like a Fortnite where everyone's kind of parachuting into this island, gearing up with equipment, and just trying to like eliminate each other. Or
player elimination.
It's not player elimination. They're trying to,
right, because you reload. You come back.
You reload. Die. That's the whole theme of the game. You respawn into the map. You're just trying to kill each other and progress your fame. And whoever gets the highest fame wins, I think. I haven't played it, but it looks really cool. Our Recess, our local board game store, went all in on the Kickstarter, so I was able to get like all the Kickstarter expansions to it, like the other characters and the different game modes that it has as well.
That one looks really fun.
Yeah, I kind of want to play it before I go down, just so that way the teach isn't as rough.
Is there any like videos on it you watched?
I don't know.
The next question is favorite player count.
You want to say a favorite player count on the count of 3?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just count it up.
Yeah.
It's the sweet spot.
It's the sweet spot. There's so many games that play 2 to 4 players.
Right. So you can play all of those, and then there's a lot of games that play like 3 to 6. Which I feel like 4 fits those like best plays at 4 for some of those. It just
opens up your world to so many more board games at that 4-player.
Yeah, because you're right on the edge of those games that have those larger player counts.
Yeah.
But it's perfect.
You can even play like party games with 4 people. Like, 4 players is great. I love playing 2-player, just you and I, but I feel like 4 players is ideal.
That's the sweet, because we only got to find like one more board game couple, or like one of my brothers and Dave or someone.
Yeah.
4 is easy for us to hit.
It is, and there's so many games for that player count.
All right, next question. What is your board game pet peeve? Got a lot of them. Paying attention. Not paying attention while I'm teaching. If you're playing on your phone and just looking around the room while I'm explaining, Like, even a light game kind of annoys me, because when you ask me to repeat myself, then I get a little upset. Like, everyone else is paying attention. You're kind of taking it away from everyone else's time. It's like, just pay attention for the 20 minutes that it's going to take to teach you the game. Don't be on your phone. That's my other thing. If you're on your phone when your turn's coming up, that drives me nuts. Put it down. Pay attention to what's happening so you can know what's going to happen on your turn.
And that, like, contributes to, like, analysis paralysis, too. Because, like, if you're not planning your turn during other people's turns, then now we have to wait.
Right. Be invested. Like,
yeah. So that kind of goes into my pet peeve is uninterested players.
Okay.
So if you have, like, people coming over for, like, a board game night who, like, you know, aren't super into board games, but you're playing, like, a lightweight filler game or something, and you can just tell that they're, like, completely, you know, uninterested. I feel like it just kind of brings the vibe down for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been some board game experiences that I've had where I've played a game with other people, and, like, while the game itself is probably not a bad game, the people I was playing it with, you know, were clearly not interested in it. And so, like, now I never want to play that game again because it was just a bad experience. Nobody was having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's one of mine.
I got another one.
Yeah.
Quarterbacking. Whether you're quarterbacking my teach or you're quarterbacking my turns. If I'm teaching a game, I typically have it all thought out in my head to where it's like you do this sometimes. Like, you think I'm going to skip something, but I'm just going to kind of circle back to it when it comes to, like,
I do
relevant.
it with rules.
Yeah, and then, like, when I'm thinking about my turn, and then other people are like, oh, you can do this, this, and this. It's like, all right, well, I'm trying to line something else up. I don't need your input. I'm fine if, like, you're playing a co-op game for that, but if it's a solo experience, I don't want your opinion.
I feel like my mom does this all the time. It's kind of hilarious because it's like, you teach her a game and she picks it up and then you play it again. And then, like, when we play with both my parents, my mom and my dad, like, my dad will be taking his turn and she'll be like, well, why don't you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, just let me take my turn. And she's like, well, you could score more points if you would do this. And, like, my dad gets so frustrated with
He's like, fine, I'll do that.
It's really funny, but, like, at the same time, like, I can definitely understand that being a pet peeve for sure.
Next question, number 13. What player color do you use most often?
Green.
Yellow.
I feel like I'm always green. If there's a teal, I would prefer to be teal, because my favorite colors are green and blue. That's halfway between both. But otherwise, I will settle for green.
My favorite color is green as well. But, I mean, since you prefer green, I've kind of adopted yellow, because that was the color of one of my NPCs in D&D. That was, like, his ring that he had shined this bright yellow. And, I mean, we have the physical props of the rings that everyone got in that campaign. So it's, like, just adopting yellow made it a safe bet for me to always have that color whenever we play board games, because everyone gravitated to green, blue, or red.
And my character had the green ring. So.
Exactly. So, I mean, well, yeah, because you had the earth ring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Read the rulebook or watch a how to play video?
Both for me.
Yeah.
I typically, as I'm skimming the rulebook, put a how to play on, and then, like, it kind of helps visually seeing a turn laid out helps me better understand the intricacies. I said that right?
Yeah.
Of what the rulebook explains. So if there's anything it misses, I like having it right there in front of me.
I almost always prefer watching a video. I get so excited when we get a new board game and we take it out to play it, and I punched up and Rodney Smith hasn't watched it play it. I was like, yes!
Sometimes, you know...
it's so fantastic. I mean, he just teaches it so good. Even Becca Scott on Game the Game, her videos are fantastic for how to plays. To get really excited when one of those two people have a how to play video out. Even Chrissy and Nick over at Two Sheep One Wheat, they do good how to play videos also.
Yeah. Yeah, no, her video really helped me learn Skull Canyon.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was kind of mentally burned after working that day, and, like, pulling up her video while I had the rule book out helped a lot.
Otherwise, Mitch generally reads the rules and teaches me how to play. I'll set the game up and have it all ready to go, but then I make you read the rules. Mm-hmm. You just teach games so well.
Well, then don't quarterback my teaches.
It's only after you teach me and you're explaining it to other people.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't forget to mention this. Sorry.
That's fine. All right, next question. We have favorite snack to eat while playing board games.
Should we say it on a count of 3?
Oh, we're doing a count of 3 on these?
I thought we had the same snack.
Oh, I don't know if we do.
We talked about it earlier.
I don't remember. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, chips.
Popcorn and Bunch of Crunch.
Dang, you're right. That is good.
We talked about it earlier.
I just got stuck up on chips.
Why would you play chips? Are the worst snack.
Popcorn's got butter. Popcorn's got butter all over your hands.
Even if you get skinny popcorn.
Then it's not as good with Bunch of Crunch.
No, it is. It's fantastic
it's
with
not
Bunch of Crunch.
as good.
Chips is the worst game to play with board games because you have cards and you have pieces and you have like dust all over the place.
It can't be a dusty chip.
Any chip has like got the oils and stuff on it.
Or
salt.
Or salt.
Chips are horrible when you're playing board games.
Pretzels?
Pretzels aren't bad because salt doesn't stick to your fingers.
Well, I think last time when we had people over, we ate pretzels.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. I love putting out bowls of popcorn, though, on each side of the table, especially when we have, like, larger player counts.
You gotta have napkins, though.
Yeah, you do have to have napkins. But I like the skinny popcorn because it's, like, there's not as much, like, oil that gets on your hand. Mm-hmm. And then Bunch of Crunch with popcorn. If you haven't had it, you gotta have it. It's so good.
The sweet and salty mix.
Oh, it's delicious. Fantastic.
All right, where are we at now? Number 16?
Yeah. Have you ever been to a board game convention? If so, which one? No,
never.
However,
soon.
We will be going to Origins in 2 weeks.
Oh, is it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Dang.
2 weeks we'll be going to Origins, and that will be our first board game convention.
Excited and nervous all at the same time.
Yeah, the reason we chose that one is because it's in Columbus, Ohio, so it's only about 2 hours from us. So it's pretty quick, pretty close. So we figured that one would be easy for us to go to.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to meet like some people that we've talked to online, like Corey from over at To the Table. He does these little articles called Teach-torials, to where he lays out exactly what you should be pointing at and what you should be saying as you're pointing at. And it's like, oh, it's a good idea to reference this at this time when you're teaching this game. So I'm going to go check out To the Table. We'll link them down below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're really excited. I know a lot of people go to PAX East, but that's in Philadelphia. And
that's too far.
That's what, 6-8 hours away from us? About? Maybe 5.
If we had someone that we knew that was over there.
That we could stay with, yeah.
Because, I mean, you have a lot of family down in Columbus.
Yeah, we do. My brother lives in Columbus. My cousins live in Columbus and uncles. So, yeah, we're really excited for Origins. We are a little nervous, being COVID, we haven't been in large crowds in 2 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it goes back to the traveling.
Yeah, it'll be a little nerve-wracking, but we're gonna see how it goes. We are very excited. We've been watching a ton of convention coverage, on YouTube over the last couple of years. So we're excited to finally be going to one.
Yeah. All right, 17. An unreleased game you are most looking forward to. You want to go first?
For me, probably Flamecraft. It's a game I think you can pre-order, but it's not officially coming out for, I think it said September on the one website that I looked on.
This year?
Yeah, it might have just been that website. I don't know if it's officially releasing sooner than that. The game looks adorable. There's all of these cute little dragons, and they're all running a shop. You gotta, activate them.
Yeah, the shops. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I understand.
Yeah. Flamecraft looks so cute, and I'm very excited for that one to come out. So, what about for you?
For me is Gempire, Zarmund's Demands. And we were lucky enough to play it with the designer, Paul.
He's so nice.
Yeah, he's one of the nicest people that we've met so far in the board game community.
And he designed such an amazing game. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I actually beat him in it.
You did. But we'll cut to that right now of Paul explaining a little bit about his game, which is going to be coming to Kickstarter.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Elpers. I am the sole owner of Gemtime Games, which is a company that I started to self-publish my first board game, which is called Gempire, Zarmund's Demands. This game is a very strategic city builder, city/engine builder, I'll say, where everybody gets to take their actions in secret. So really the theme of the game is that King Zarmund, who is the king of the Gempire, is holding a competition to see who can build his new capital city. So he's kind of ditching the one that he has currently and he's holding a competition to see which of the players, or in this case the lead architects of these cities, can build his new capital city. And at the beginning of the game, he makes 3 demands for his competition, basically for his new capital city. And the winner of the competition is the player or the lead architect who can build the city that meets any 2 of his 3 demands. Included in the game are 15 demands. So every time you play this game, the victory conditions are going to change pretty drastically, which makes the game more replayable. And then on top of that, there's 21 technologies included in the game, and there will be 5 used for each game, and you'll put the rest in the box for that game. So that's another kind of layer of that replayability. Those will change every game. The way that the game really kind of flows is there's 3 steps to every round. Somebody rolls the resource dice, and then after the roll is made, all players have a little dry erase book that's kind of a bifold. In real life, they'll be able to fold that top half up, but everybody will get to choose one action in secret at the same time. So you'll be able to hide from everyone else what you're writing. And then when everyone's ready, you all get to reveal what you did, and you resolve what action you chose to take. So every round, everybody gets to go, so nobody's ever waiting their turn, which keeps everyone engaged. And the name of the game is basically trying to kind of predict what your opponents are going to do, and trying to yourself pick an action that you don't think they're going to predict that you're going to do. So that's basically the gist of the game. You can find me on Twitter at Gemtime Games. You can find me on Facebook at Gemtime Games as well. I also have a website, which is gemtimegames.com. You can go on there and subscribe if you want to get emails about important updates or things like that. And I also have a Kickstarter preview page, which is probably the most important way that you can help me at this point. And if you click the notify me on launch button, it doesn't require you to pay anything or anything like that. It's just a button that will allow you to follow my project so that you'll get a notification when the Kickstarter campaign launches.
So that was Gempire Zarmund's demand. If you're interested in playing this game, you can reach out to Gemtime Games on Twitter, Instagram. He is in the Discord, Foster the Meeple, and the BG Hub.
Mm-hmm.
Message him on there. He'd be happy to set up some time with you on Tabletop Simulator to set up a game.
Yeah, and make sure to go to his Kickstarter page and click that notify me of the launch, so that way you can get notified when that game, starts its Kickstarter campaign.
Mm-hmm. It's a fantastic game, and he's just trying to get the word out to get more people
so good.
Excited about it. And we played it, and it's such a good game.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do all we can to let people know about how good of a game this is.
It's got some tableau building, but
that's why
I felt like I was doing really good in the game. Yeah, no, I don't stand a chance playing a tableau against you. I just want to do better than I did last time.
Yeah. Okay, next question. What is your favorite thing about the board game hobby? My favorite thing about the board game hobby is the memories that you make playing board games. It's just really good quality time. You're not just sitting around watching sports or, awkward silence. You're all having fun together, and it's memories that you will, go back to and remember. Oh, I remember playing that game. You don't always remember what show you were watching on which day, but you remember.
Right, but you remember being in the brig for 3 hours playing Battlestar Galactica.
Yes. And I also really enjoy introducing board games to people. It's such a good feeling when you play a board game with somebody who's never played it. And they're like, wow, that was so much fun. Mm-hmm. I really want that board game.
Yeah, when they instantly want to play another round of it or another game.
Yeah, that just makes you feel so good. And it's just that's the whole point. It's to have fun and
sharing that experience with them. That's
I
probably... Yeah, and the memories you make, that's a good answer. That's also my answer. I'm just going to samesies.
All right, well, I also really like the board game community. I feel like,
that's something we only recently...
Yeah, within the last year, I guess we just had no concept of,
how the scope of it is so
large.
A
year ago, we didn't even know board game conventions existed. I think I just found it on YouTube or something, and I was like, whoa.
I knew about PAX, but because of video games.
Yeah, we knew there was video games and Comic-Cons, but we never knew that there was conventions about board games. I guess we just never realized there was that many people into board games. And I feel like discovering that community was just so cool, and now being a part of it, everyone's
so nice and supportive.
It's great. And it just, them having the same passion as us, it kind of makes you feel good, like, oh man, we're not crazy for having this many
Yeah.
board
Yeah,
games.
yeah, yeah.
Like, our collection
Like,
is
they
small
have how
compared
many
to some
unplayed games
people.
and they're still buying them? Yeah, okay, that makes me feel a little bit better.
Right, it makes you feel a little more sane
Mhm.
for being like, crazy about this hobby. But yeah, everyone's just awesome in this community, and that's
Yeah.
been a really nice surprise for us.
Mhm.
So.
Open and punch a game right when you get it, or wait until you play it for the first time.
It depends on the game.
It does. It depends on how excited I am to open it and play with the components.
Yeah, if it's like a game that we know has good components, like based on what the back of the box is, or because we've looked up stuff about it, we are immediately punching that boy out as soon as we get home, If it's just a game that we picked up, like a card game or something, we probably will just open it when we play it. Or sometimes we open it ahead of time if we know we're bringing it to like a game night or something, but yeah, if it has some nice components or it's a game we're really excited about, we're opening that up. Like, in the car, in the parking lot of the game store.
As soon as we got home, I cracked open Reload and just started punching stuff out.
Yeah,
I was
so satisfying.
It is. And there was a lot to punch out in that game.
Yeah. Okay, and the final question is other content creators we would like to see do this tag. So I think it would be really fun for Chrissy and Nick over at Two Sheep One Wheat to do this tabletop tag challenge.
They're so nice.
They're amazing people. We love their channel.
I really like Nick's dry humor.
Yeah, it's great. So I would really like to see them do this challenge. Is there somebody else you would like to tag?
Dylan and Carlo over at All You Can Board. I think it'd be really interesting to see what they have to say to some of these questions. I think they did a similar video to it, but it only had maybe 5 or 6 of these questions on it.
Okay.
But I would like to see what they have to answer to the rest of it.
And then the last person we'd like to tag is Lobby of Hobbies, Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz over at Lobby of Hobbies. He's a really nice guy. Is he in Philadelphia?
I think so.
Yeah, because he went to PAX, I believe.
Yeah.
I really like his content, and I kind of hope he branches out, because with the Lobby of Hobbies logo, it's a game controller. I'd watch that guy play live streams of video games.
Yeah.
He's just so entertaining to watch, and his videos seem so welcoming. So I really want to see.
And I feel like there's a lot of overlap between board gamers and video gamers too. So yeah.
Yeah, it's that not interactive. Yeah, I guess interactive entertainment to where you're participating in the story or what's happening. Yeah, rather than a movie, which is just passive and you're sitting there watching it. Not that there's anything against movies, but just draws you in a little bit more.
So we want to definitely thank Jenna Rose over at the Board Game Garden for tagging us in this Tabletop Tag Challenge. We had a lot of fun answering these questions, talking about our answers. So a special thanks to Jenna Rose over at the Board Game Garden for tagging us in this Tabletop Tag Challenge. Jenna Rose is fantastic. If you are not already subscribed to her new channel, the Board Game Garden, definitely go do so. We will link her down below. If you would like to answer these questions yourself, we'll put all of these in the description. We'd love to hear your answers to these questions as well. But that's all we have for you.
That's it. My name's Mitch.
And I'm Morgan, and we're MS for Meeple.
All right. Later.
Bye.